Where's my phone, by the way? I should keep this in case I need it for anything. How will I go?
Could be with me.
It probably is you, to be honest. It is you.
Mm.
And
I think we're
we are
live,
live.
aren't we?
We are live, yeah.
Beautiful. So, welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast. This is Roger Bergsten talking, sitting in the beautiful, well, it's not that beautiful outside today, but it's still the beautiful Stockholm, Sweden. I hope you're having a good morning or afternoon, evening, whenever you listen to the podcast. And as always, we're going to talk a bit about this and that, things we like to do in life and life in general. And as always, together with me over the pond in the UK, in the beautiful Reading, we have Mr. Kudus Campbell. How are you doing, friend?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I
Very
am
almost
good.
formal introduction, but what can we say?
It is a formal introduction,
Hi,
but
Nalu, by the
I
way.
like it.
Welcome.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Nalu in the chat. Hey Nalu, how you doing?
Yeah.
Welcome. Welcome.
Mhm.
Oh, it is a Wednesday. I am not um
You're partly awake.
I am awake, but yeah, I am partly awake. You know, I'll be 100% honest with the podcast. You see, the thing is, Roger does this thing every week before the podcast. So he messages me the day before. So like Tuesday night, every Tuesday night, I get a text message, and it says, "These are the stuff I'm going to talk about next day. These are my show notes." So my mind prepares for that one the minute I see that. When I don't see that, my brain does not prepare for it. My brain starts doing other things, and
It hibernates.
it does. It does. So I'll admit I stayed up last night doing random stuff, and also I had stuff to do like outside of random stuff, but I did stay up pretty late, and so I was in Snooze Town. Roger called me, and enjoying the good old fashioned snooze. Granted, though, I do sleep with my phone next to me on the bed. I think it has become a habit because of the podcast. So I have it there. It's always on vibrate because my phone has a feature where if you flip it upside down, it turns off. Like it mutes itself. And I've thought to myself like I could like I probably would like to like turn it upside down, but then because of the podcast, if I do that, I would never like hear you if you called me, which would be
Yeah.
so I leave it up, and you called, and I woke up, and luckily I was sleeping right there in the office bed, so I just got up,
Aha,
slept.
okay, you were sleeping there. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've been sleeping in the office bed since I got back from TT. Honestly,
Okay.
because my bedroom is in a mess, and
Okay.
it's been in a bit of a mess for a little bit. And Nalu says he keeps seeing me playing football on Xbox a lot lately too. I do play football on the Xbox a lot. That's literally what I do when I have downtime. I put on a football and I play. But yeah, my bedroom's a mess, and because it's a mess, my bed is also in a mess, and I kind of cleared a little spot, like in my spot of the bed, but I can't sleep there. Like, I just can't. I need the room to be cleaned, and
Yeah.
me and the missus started the process of getting it cleaned, but yeah, we didn't finish that.
Okay, work in progress, as we say. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a work in progress. So yeah, that's why I've been sleeping in the office. So not
Yeah.
the most ideal place to sleep, excuse me, but it's better than sleeping. Um, let me see. If I had to rank places to sleep in my house, the the
Here we
boys'
go.
room would be the lowest on that list.
Okay.
Because they're kids. One, they they're messy. You know, there's like I find their room has a funk. it's got
Okay.
it's got a funk. Um, and like that bothers me. Number two, sleeping in their room. Usually, if I slept in their room, I would sleep on Ty's bed, and Ty's bed is usually where the funk originates from, because Ty is a bedwetter.
Mm.
So
May I
So
ask you, how are things? I mean, we don't have to stay on that topic, but how are things going with that? I mean,
it's bedwetting.
yeah, same
Um,
as last week, or
I
yeah,
mean, he's had
or
nights where he's just gone through the whole night without it. So
yeah,
like,
good. Oh,
I mean,
good.
he's had nights where where he has wet the bed. So
Yeah,
it's you know
50-50 ish, somewhere around there.
it's
Yeah,
50-50 ish. But I would say progress because as I said, there have been nights where he's gone the whole night.
yeah. Oh, that's good.
So he's
Good
gone the
for
whole
y'all.
night. He
Yeah,
wakes up in the morning. He's dry. There's nothing.
yeah,
Whereas I think before we started doing this whole process all over again, um, he was just wetting it consistently every night. Like it
yeah,
was every
yeah,
single night. It was just like, wow, like dude,
yeah,
like
yeah.
we don't have enough sheets for that. You know, it's like
it,
um,
it starts to yeah, exactly. I can imagine.
I will admit it got to a point where we would just get people were giving up their duvets for Ty. You know, I was like, are we having that?
Mm.
But yeah, generally speaking, he's been better this week than
Oh,
last week.
good.
So
That sounds good. Yeah.
that's actually pretty good. I would say,
Mm.
okay, so hierarchy, yeah. So boys' room, um, I would say second would be living room. Even though actually I don't mind sleeping on the sofa, but I do wake up with cramps in my neck from time to time whenever I sleep there.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Then would be the office, and number one place to sleep is my bedroom. Like I find my
Mm.
bed is the best. My bed is it's big, it's firm, it's comfortable. Boom, sleep.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
it
know.
should. I mean, it should be. Hopefully, everyone feels that the bedroom is the best place to sleep. I mean, good bed and, nice, cozy place to be. But as said, yeah, I hear you. I mean, I guess you guys have to figure out what you're gonna do about that. But
We got to sort it
uh,
out. I remember
yeah,
you mentioning a couple years ago about how amazing your bed is. After I think the new one that you and Andy got or something. I think you said you've had it for a
yes.
while.
Yeah. Oh, we have. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting that you remember that. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's different styles of beds and what you prefer. We invested, you might say, it's actually many, many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if 20 years is enough. To us, it's like, no, we're talking about especially the mattresses because
Mm-hmm.
that's the shit, to be honest. It
Yeah.
doesn't really that much what kind of bed you have. These are it's a company called, here in Sweden at least, it's called Tempur, Tempur,
Mm-hmm.
Tempur, and
I think I've
it's
heard of
like a
that.
foam kind of material. I think they have been talking. I'm not sure if it's related to NASA in any way, but it's
Mm-hmm.
it's very dense,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still like a bit foamy. So what happens is when you lay down, this goes for both the mattresses and the cushions, the pillows. So it kind of sink down a bit. It
Mm-hmm.
like forms like under your body, you might say. So for me, it's really good because I sleep on the side,
Yeah.
90% on my right side.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, if you sleep in a normal bed, especially if it's too hard,
Mm-hmm.
you might wake up or you feel the next morning, you have like points on your like hip and maybe your shoulder that is aching a bit or something like that. I don't get that with this bed because you sink down into this material,
Mm-hmm.
which also makes your back being erect, like in a straight line all the time, if that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
which is good posture when sleeping, apparently. So it is really, really good. I'm really glad they were really expensive already back then, but
Mm-hmm.
and if anyone is interested to try something like that, you can first buy the pillow. That's what we did.
So,
Just having the pillow. It's a typical form. I gonna see if I can find a link and send. I mean, it's just interesting and yeah. So we prefer that. That's why I like the bed in our bedroom the most. That's the
mm.
number one for me.
This is a memory foam pillow that I got. But I feel like it's gotten
Yeah, wait. That's actually a bit like the form is the form that we have, where
yeah.
where it's thicker, where the neck is. Yeah, look at that. But that's not. Yeah, but that's so the shape is correct if I may say so. But I guess the material isn't the material I'm talking about, because if it was tempur, it would be quite heavy and very, as I said, dense,
Dense.
thick, you know.
Yeah.
But those are good because what happens is it fills out this little curve behind your
Mm-hmm.
neck, if you're, especially if you're sleeping
Mm-hmm.
on, like, laying flat on your back, but
Yeah.
also actually when you're lying, as said, on the side, because it goes in like this,
Mm-hmm.
giving support to the side of the head,
Right.
which might be hard to get if you have like a normal pillow, if you aren't good at just tucking it in properly. So
That one's
it's
supposed to
interesting,
be
yeah.
like that, but I think it's degraded over time because it doesn't feel the same way it used to when I first got it.
Oh,
I think,
really?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's like cheap memory foam or what. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't believe those were cheap pillows. Actually, I don't think I bought those. I think Alex did.
yeah.
So I would have to ask her, but I don't think they're cheap though. They look quite pricey. I honestly
Hmm.
just think they're because I used to use those to sleep in the office before.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep it in the office because I don't on my bed. I don't actually even sleep with a pillow. It's so nice and firm. I'm just flat on my stomach. No, no pillow needed. Just perfect.
No
No pillow
pillow.
needed. In response to the question, Nalu, I am not sure when I'm coming back to Twitch. I want to. I'm not sure what to play. What do I play? Also, I don't know. I'm trying to get into a routine first before I come back to Twitch. Like I want to make sure if I'm going to be on Twitch, I want to make sure that I'm able to stick to it. I don't want to like start and be in and out for you guys. I think that would be bad. Oh, I started gym this week. That's cool.
Oh, oh, you did. Oh, bro, by the way, sorry, we're talking about, yeah, health section. Well, then I actually did some Googling here, and I found the official UK tempur.com. Here we
Send
go.
it over. Let's go.
Yeah, hand it over, brother.
Send
I'm
it
putting
over.
it actually in. I gotta, yeah, why not? I
Put it in the
could
chat.
actually.
Yeah,
I'm
dump it in
gonna
the chat.
put it in the chat. I'm gonna dump it here. This is the bed, or the mattresses I'm talking about, if you're interested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you were saying you started to work out a bit, did you?
Yeah, so and with regards to Nalu, enjoy the late on, but we'll keep the conversation going. Hopefully, we're good company while you rest. Um, what I was saying
Yeah,
is
sleep well. Now
Persona 3 Reloaded when it comes out. Oh, it's not February. Maybe I will stream Persona 3 Reloaded. I don't know. Fingers crossed. I mean, I've got Game Pass. It's gonna come out on Game Pass. But yeah, Alex came in one afternoon this week. I think it was the day before, and she was like, so I've got this new workout that my trainer wants me to do, but I feel so self conscious about doing it. And she's like, would you accompany me to the gym? You know? And I was like, you know.
okay. That sound
I
like,
was
do I have to?
I was like, all right, I'll go. And I went to the gym with her, and well, to be honest, she signed up a gym membership for me, which I wasn't too keen about, to be honest.
She did.
Yeah, so
Oh,
essentially, I was gonna go on
oops.
the because her membership allows us to take, like, because of how the gym is set up, you can take someone with you at least 4 times a month. So
Ah,
at the time when she
okay.
came in, I was playing a match of eFootball, and I said, okay, cool. I'll let me just finish up this match and we can go. So she was like, oh, can I see your phone for a sec? So I was like, yeah, go on then. I was like, what do you need? She's like, oh, don't worry about it. And I was like, don't worry about it. All right. And then Zavi comes in and he's like, oh, do you have mom's card? And I was like, no. I was like, oh yeah, I think it's in my desk drawer. So he takes the card and I'm like, why does she need a card on my phone? And I was like, please tell me she's not signed up a gym membership. So so
yeah.
I get into the to she because she's in our bedroom. So I finish the match. I get into our bedroom and she's sitting there, and she's got her phone and my phone in front of her, and she's doing something. I'm like, what are you doing? And I try to look at her, and she's like, no, don't look. I was like, oh, you go. Right. I was like, why are you trying to hide it? Like, what are you doing? And at that point in time, I instantly needed a wee, so I just left and went and did my business. And then she handed me my phone. I came back out, and I was like, why are you being weird? Why are you hiding the phone? And then obviously the first thing I saw when I turned on my phone was a new icon there because anytime you
Yeah,
install
yeah,
something
yeah.
new to my phone, it creates a whole new so like home screen with that icon on it because my other home screens are filled.
Aha.
So I was like, why didn't you just? I was like, cause I guess she knew if she told me what she was doing, I would have told her no. I would have said
That could be the case. That could be so.
so. Yeah, so generally speaking, but I did go with her, and now I need to form myself a new gym routine because it would be a waste of money if I don't go. So yeah, so I went one day. I went on the treadmill to begin with. I did according to Alex, I was on there for like an hour or
Oh, well,
or
that's a long
30
time.
minutes. I didn't even
Yeah.
notice because I started off as a walking pace and it
Mm,
it built, it built, it built, and then it built up into something more. And then
mm,
I guess I was jogging.
yeah.
Um but yeah, I gymmed. It's all right.
But it's, I mean, even though as you described it, it's a good thing. It's
Yeah.
good. I mean, if you get a habit now, maybe going once or twice a week, whatever have you, it's good. You know,
Mhm.
we talked about that before.
Mhm.
It's going to give you energy and stamina overall as well, which is, needed in so many ways.
Mhm.
So it's going to be good. It's going to be
Yeah.
good.
So far, we'll see how it goes. We'll see
Yeah.
if I manage to be able to keep to
Yes,
this sort of
yes.
schedule.
I hope you will. That's also why I say don't take it too seriously. Don't go like, don't put like, I've said it so many times, a goal where you're, oh, I'm going like gym 4 or 5 times a week. Don't do that. Just do it once in a while, but try to be consistent, whatever that is, because that will give you result anyway.
That is
Everything
the
that
thing.
is more than zero, as I've said before, that's going to give you something, and it's a good thing.
Mhm.
I mean, I see now talking about gym, as you know, I'm a gym rat. I was born in the gym. No, I wasn't, but I've been in the gym for so many years. This is the time when I see the New Year's resolutions coming, into the gym after like the New Year, and it's a lot of new people, and that's nice. Definitely great that they're, trying to do something. But I also know that after February into March, about half of them is going to be gone. It's like that every year.
They're like
And
tourists, they show up and then they go home.
yes, they bring the camera and then,
Ooh, it's a treadmill. Look at that. Look
yeah,
at that,
exactly.
Harry. Look at that
Um,
treadmill. Let's take a
yeah, they're
picture.
standing there and then put it on Instagram. Look, I'm at the gym. I'm so
Selfie.
slick.
Look at my
And I'm like
abs.
standing in the back doing deadlifts, like 150 kilos, 8 reps. Yeah, okay.
You're like, oh,
Yeah,
tourist.
I don't. Like,
You
nah,
know what?
I don't want to be that guy. I'm happy to see new people coming in, doing something. But as said, it is like that. It's just fact. It's nothing.
Mhm.
It's nothing. That's also why I hope that you will be able to continue and just do your thing your way and find things that you find, fun to do. Because
I'm
working out can be so many different things. You just,
I'm
yeah,
gonna try. I will try
yeah.
to see if I can stick to it. I'm not making any promises. And it's the
No,
reason
of
why
course.
I didn't want to sign up for membership immediately because I was just thinking like I want to get myself into a full life routine of everything first. Like get
Yeah, I
everything
cannot imagine
exactly
that.
where I want it, and that way I can stick to everything because I will know
Yeah,
my schedule from from the get go. It's easy to sort of like stick to a schedule if I already know it. Like these are the days I'm working. These are the times
yeah.
that I'm doing live stream or podcast or
Sure.
whatever. Like,
But you know what? Sorry for interrupting, but
mhm,
maybe, just maybe, because this is my kind of life lesson, usually, especially also when you're in a new phase,
mhm,
you sometimes have to build up to that.
yeah,
And sometimes you might feel that you're starting in the wrong end of things because
mhm,
as you describe it, maybe, okay, a job would be great for us. Then, you're going to
mhm,
work 3 days a week, whatever have you. I don't
mhm.
know. And then you can fit in the gym on Wednesdays, let's say. Just an example. But maybe it's the opposite around here. You are applying, you're looking for stuff, and at the same time, you're also keeping yourself like busy once or twice a week, going to the gym, meeting
Mhm,
some people, maybe also, and working out, going to the cafe. Maybe you have a cafe thing with Alex, I don't know.
mhm,
And so that could be one small brick
mhm.
of the nest you're building. So just a thought, sometimes it is like that. It's been like that for me also, like the last years, especially
Mhm,
after I stopped working out at Arlanda. It's been a brick building kind of Minecraft thing, I would say. It's
I
like,
hated Minecraft.
yeah, I'm not a Minecraft player either, you know that, or gamer, but it
Oh,
was just an example. Apparently, you build things.
I get your example. I get your
Hello there,
example.
Elia. How are you? Yeah,
Elijah, how are you doing, brother? How are
yeah.
you? How are you doing? Loving the house from Lancaster. So Elijah is my mate from Lancaster. He's
No, nice Lancaster. No,
yeah,
beautiful. Mm-hmm.
he is
Yes.
from Trinidad and Tobago, and
Mm.
he's a cool bloke. We actually
Yeah, but
met for the
you
first time this
mentioned, yeah.
year, and yeah, I have mentioned him before, and just pretty chill dude. So
Cool.
yeah, I
Good,
just
good.
sent him the link to the podcast, so I guess he's awake and he's watching us on the podcast. Elijah, how are you doing, man? Hope you're doing
Partly
well.
awake, at least, as I told you. So, yeah, nice to have you guys here. Good to have you guys here. Yeah. Yeah, but that sounds good. It's interesting talking about that. You know, the yeah, especially when you're getting into the new phase, as said, trying to find out your new routine, your new way and of living
Hmm.
in a certain degree.
Yeah.
Some things you know for sure. The fundament is there. You know, your family, the house, blah blah blah, all that stuff. So now it's the other things coming. Is there anything else like you could think of your week or anything special you want to mention or?
I don't actually know. I honestly think like the week has been a week. It's
Yeah,
I have, as I said, I mentioned I went to the gym with Alex. I've been playing a unhealthy amount of eFootball.
yeah,
Um, but that's actually,
yeah,
there's a reason for that. And I'll explain when we start talking about games, I guess.
sure.
But there's a reason for that,
Mm,
essentially. But yeah, just generally, I think it's general normal stuff, you know. Not
yeah,
nothing too nothing too complex, you know.
yeah.
Nothing too complex at all. Just
Yeah.
general sort of like weekly stuff, weekly dues. So yeah. What about you, Raj? How has your week been? What have you been up
Yeah, it's been a bit the same. Some days have definitely just been routine things,
to?
what I usually do. Trying to be productive, definitely, and I'm kind of keeping that. If it's something I have become both better at and to a certain degree good at, is to do that, to keep
Mm-hmm.
it. And besides that, as I told you, you asked me also before. We usually talk a bit before we start to record.
Do we?
And I've had some days when I've had some less energy. I think I've been almost a bit worn out, if that makes sense. And I start to feel, will I become sick? Like, am I catching a cold? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason also is because my weekends has also been busy, both this last one and the one before. So I haven't really had so much time off.
Mm-hmm.
The weekends also mostly because we have been rehearsing with the band that I'm playing in, and we are now having the concert on Saturday. That's going to be fun. It's all going to be fun. We have the last rehearsal today, this evening, and that's that. But everything all together. We talked about the life puzzle. Puts a bit of strain on you from
Mm-hmm.
time to time. So luckily, I was also, talking about routines. I mean, as you know, I've been training and working out for years.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at the gym yesterday. I had a good workout together with Isaac, my youngest son, and so I got energized by that. I also felt better. I sometimes have a bit smaller or smaller. I have some back problems once in a while related to a lot of things. So I need to be consistent also with that. It's a combination of both the actual weightlifting, if that makes sense, but also the what follows, which for me is stretching.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes during the week I might do a bit of yoga as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so that was good. I needed that, and hopefully that will keep me, how do you say, my batteries loaded for the rest of the week, and especially the Saturday to come with the concert. So yeah. Other than that, the weather, as I told you, also has been a bit. Today, for example, today I'm not too tempted to go outdoors. It's a combination of wet snowflakes and rain. It's one of those days. So we're
Slush.
back on. Yeah, yeah, exactly. We're back on plus degrees. That's what I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was better like a week ago, a few minus degrees, and still, quite some snow on the ground. And it's a bit too early for that to melt away. It's only January. And January, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but usually for me personally, January is the worst month. I don't like January. It's when I was younger, I really disliked November for many reasons,
Mhm,
especially living down here, South Sweden. It starts to rain. The weather is not that good, and it's darker, and I just didn't like it. But that has changed with over the years. So
mhm,
now I have the patience, you might say, going through November
mhm,
into December. Hopefully you have snow by then. It's a bit brighter, lighter,
mhm,
and of course holiday season. I like Christmas, so that's cool. But then after that, you get into the new year, new things to come, new things to do, whatever have you, and then it just feels so slow. And as said, it becomes this mix also with the weather in January, and I just wanted to move forward.
mhm,
Then I'm done. I can get into the kind of spring mode already, but
mhm.
it's a bit too early. So yeah, January, not my favorite month. I don't know, but
You need to
yeah.
pick your months better. January is
Yeah.
actually much better than I would say least favorite month, probably July. That's how
What? Really?
yeah,
It's the bugs again.
it's the bugs. Of course it's the
Yeah,
bugs.
I knew it. I'm like, what, bro? Yeah, I know.
It's the bugs.
What are you saying? Yeah, this is lots of wind and rain here where I am. It's not Lancaster then. We're
Mm.
experiencing some adverse weather from this storm. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I
It
can
has been
imagine that.
windy here too as well. Down
Mm.
south, it's been pretty windy. It has like in the night, it's like at night it's the worst. It's like you just hear wind howling outside the window. It's like I'm like if I was a kid, like I'm surprised the boys sleep so well at night. Like if I was a kid, I was like, oh my god, they're coming to get us. Like these monsters are out tonight, you
Yeah,
know.
the howling monsters. Interesting that you guys are mentioning this now, because now I remember that we had that wind at the
Mhm.
end of last week and
Ooh.
on to like Saturday, I think. Then I remember when we lay down in the bedroom at I think that was Saturday evening, I said to my wife Annelie, like, what is going on out there? I don't know. It was really this was
That's
like
it.
making noises all the time. I was like, scary shit going on. Yeah.
Let me just go outside and check here
Mm,
with a
eh,
torchlight.
yeah, I'm bringing my katana.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
just in
like
case.
in like 3 minutes, all she could hear is "Ooh." It's actually you swinging it wrong in the wind.
Exactly.
Oh,
Oh yeah, it's going
oh.
up in a tornado or something. Oh my, that wouldn't be
It has
good,
been
would it?
brutal though. I've been seeing bins flying around. I've been seeing it's
Oh, you have? Oh,
yeah. I've seen bins. I've literally watched out the boys' window and seen like a neighbor's bin flung into the middle of the road and a car come in, and the guy gets out and he pulls the bin back, and then he gets back in the car and he
oh,
drives off.
yeah.
And all I thought the moment when he did it, I was like, ew. Like he didn't even put any alcohol gel. You could just see he just shifted his gears and everything. He just touched the bin. That's disgusting.
That's what you were thinking.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
I was thinking. I was like, he didn't even alcohol gel his
Oh
hands.
my
You
God.
know, just the thought of it. Just the thought of it is making me want alcohol gel my hands because that's disgusting. You know, like, how could you do
Let's
that?
let's let's alcohol gel a bit, shall we?
Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
How,
But
how,
bro, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that was my week though. I just wanted to put an end to my
oh yeah, let's go for it.
week talk.
What do we? Let's go. Games or Telly this week? I'll be honest. I only have games. I have no Telly this week. To anyone.
Sure. We can start with games. Let's do that.
All right. So I'll jump straight in and mention that I have been playing eFootball 2024. Right. The gameplay on the screen is not 2024. I think it's 2023 because I haven't really captured footage, but I have been playing 2024. And there's a reason for it is that I do want to compete again in the for Trinidad and Tobago for eFootball. And I called up my friend who runs
Now look at
who's
that.
like involved in the esports stuff for Trinidad and Tobago. And he
Ah,
said to me, I said, "Hey, you guys still doing that thing? Like, you need someone to like represent for eFootball." He's like, "Well, you're gonna have to qualify, though." So,
look
so
at that.
I said to myself, you know what? I think I was talking to Alex. I was like, I think I need to practice. She's like, yeah, you need to practice. Like, I was like, okay, so I need to practice. So I've been practicing so I can be competitive again. And
Cool.
I want to say that I'm all right. Like I like my win-loss ratio right now is I think I'm at 20 something wins, 14 losses, I think like 10 draws. So that's like my ratio.
Yeah.
I I will say this much though. The last update they released, which I think is version 3.30 or something like that, is kind of shit. And
Oh, really?
yeah,
Okay.
I say that because of the fact that um essentially it feels like one, it feels like the game has gotten way too quick. If in some matches, sometimes I feel like I'm just going 100 miles an hour. And then number two, I also feel like the interception or whatever they've done with the interceptions in the game, it's way off. Because it feels like most of the game is played in midfield, and maybe they did that on purpose to sort of like get people to like battle it out in the midfield. But it also
Mm.
feels like unfair or unrealistic because like sometimes you hold the ball up and you pick a perfect pass, and then some guy just sticks his foot out and he's got the ball again, and you're like, how the fuck did you get that? Or the AI passes the ball to the wrong in the wrong angle that you're pushing from, and it's like that's kind of shit, isn't it?
Aha.
So
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
it's or in some cases you're playing a match and you're taking shots, and no matter what you do, the ball just doesn't want to go in the net, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Like,
Oh, okay.
so yeah, but I'm competitive as long as I'm not playing against certain players. I think if someone is using like uh Petr Cech, the goalkeeper,
Mm.
there's a version of him in the game. It's almost impossible to score against him. It feels
Ah.
almost impossible. There are a few other like players I come up against using that keeper, or and it's really difficult to get the ball around him because how that keeper sets up is it's like he's set up to save everything. So yeah.
Wow.
Um
I want to ask you when we get into this topic. I think it's nice to hear this.
mhm,
Sounds fun. Sounds fun.
yeah.
Go for it. But you've been playing the game also for quite some time, and other football titles like
Mhm,
PES and of course also FIFA and everything.
mhm.
I have a past in that too, but that was way it's yeah, some time ago. But I like the games. I do, especially when I went over to PES. We've talked about that before.
Mhm.
But you as a player, then, what would you say when it comes to? I mean, when you play the game for a long time, you usually know your strengths and maybe your weaknesses. So how would you describe yours as a as a player then?
Okay, so my strength is my defending. Like I like to
Yeah.
think and most people who play against me, I'm a tough defensive player. Like I I predict where you're gonna go, and like my whole play style is all about predicting what the opposition will do. So
Mm,
I tend to predict most of the times where people are gonna go, and
yeah.
I position my players in positions to take the ball or to win the ball from you. That's my whole play style.
Mm, mm,
And I see that from a defensive perspective. On the attack, I'm aggressive. Like
mm,
I quick counter. I want to get to your box. I barely do back passes backwards. Most of my passes are forward or
mm,
across.
mm.
So I tend to spend a lot of time. I tend to like in seconds. I want to be in your box. I want to be taking
Yeah, you're
shots.
right. Mm,
Um, so my strength. Those are my strengths. My weaknesses. I struggle to take shots from range. So like there are some positions where I'm in range, but I'll be like, oh, I want to get closer. You know, and where I will see like my brother or some other players, they won't do that. They'll take the shot. You know,
ah, okay.
and they benefit from it.
Yeah.
They benefit from like some of the shots they take. I'm in positions to take those kind of shots, but I skip it. Where I see myself doing it though is against the AI. Like when I play against the AI, I do it because it's AI. Like I was like, it's not person. Like I could score this. It's not like it's gonna affect my win loss ratio on this thing. Um. In response to your question, Nalu, I have not played Palworld yet. No.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm
Uh,
gonna talk about that when I get into my gaming, but we
oh,
wait with that. Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, but I would say so yeah. So I don't. Sometimes I don't pick the best times to take the shot.
Mm,
Sometimes I also find myself to be like my dribbling is not my strength. I am not the best dribbler. Like I see my brother do some stuff and I'm like, oh my god, like he's so good at dribbling.
Mm.
I feel like I'm a predictable dribbler. Like I feel dribbling is not my strength. So if I have the ball for too long on one player, I feel like there's a good chance the opposition can take it. You know,
Yeah,
uh,
okay, okay.
not that I
Mm.
can't pull off a successful dribble here and there. It's just not my strength. And there's this skill move that like it is the skill move that everyone needs to learn if you're playing eFootball to like be competitive. Where all the top players use it. It's called the double touch, and it's essentially where the player bounces the ball from one foot to the next foot and back to the foot you want it on. So it's like a
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and when you do it, it's usually throws off the AI, so you can dribble around people quite effectively with it because it's so quick.
Yeah.
I can't do a double touch properly. Like I know
Mm,
the button
mm.
combination for it, which is the joysticks diagonal to each other, whap whap. But when
Yeah.
I do it, it's not as effective as when I see some of my other friends who are like pro players. When they do it, it's like, oh my god, you can't even predict it. It's so quick. When I
Yeah.
do it, it looks like it's happening in slow motion, and and you
Okay.
could just take it. And
Mm.
sometimes it just doesn't come off. Sometimes I try it, and the player does something else, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? That's not what I wanted. So generally speaking, yeah, I think those are my weaknesses. I can't
Yeah.
think if I have any other weaknesses or strengths, but
No.
yeah.
But the good thing though is, I mean, yeah, when you talk about the things that your weaknesses, or maybe we should put things that you can become better at, maybe maybe that's a better saying.
Mhm.
Then I mean, it's possible to train and work with those things
That's
if
what I'm doing.
needed, and if you don't, yeah, exactly, as you said, you're practicing. You know, when I played Counter Strike, a bit competitive Counter Strike, I practiced. I
Mhm.
practiced almost every day when it comes to aim. I mean, as you know, in Counter Strike, there's a bunch of about programs and stuff you can you can use like in order to train your shots and your aim. You know, learn the recoil and everything regarding the weapon. So it's the same here. If you will definitely become better at that if you continue to practice.
The one thing I
Because
would say
yeah,
with the game though is that because of the fact that this is a as a service game, and I think this is where it differs from Counter Strike. Counter Strike is like 100% on your skill. You know, like
yeah,
you
yeah,
can train
true.
to be very good at
It's
Counter Strike.
PvP 100% for sure.
Yes. With eFootball, because it's a game's a service game, you know, they release new cards every week. And there are cards that are just meta. Meaning like these
Yeah,
cards when they
I
come
understand.
out, they're better than any other card in that position or whatever have you. So, but
Yes.
like the keeper I mentioned, Petacek.
Yeah.
You see a
Yes,
lot
you
of
have to stay up to date with that too.
you
Take
do
that into
have
consideration a bit, I guess.
I think it's not just take it into consideration because I try not to. Like I don't really like because obviously you have to spend a lot of money to keep up with it. I don't. I
Oh,
try to like
yeah.
build myself up off of just like, you know, like I've literally not spent in the game until I spent around Christmas time. And that was the
Yeah.
first time I spent in the game the entire time I was playing. And the reason I
Mm.
did was because there was one player they released that I really, really wanted. Not that I needed, but I really wanted. And it turns out like I need him.
Yeah,
But
look at that.
it was a Trinidadian player. I was like, oh my god, there's a Trinidadian football legend. I want him because you know I'm Trinidadian. So
Mm.
I was like, ooh,
Yeah, of course, it
that'd be
makes
cool.
sense, you know.
So I was like, which was Dwight York, a former Manchester United striker, and I was like, I want him in my team because he's Trini.
Yeah, it's
And
yeah.
generally speaking, I don't actually like Dwight York as a person. Like when I hear some of the stuff, his life choices, I'm like, I don't really agree with that. But as a football player, yeah, I rate the guy. And so I signed him for my team, and I actually you know got some points, and I got him, and he's in my team now, and he's actually my top striker right now. He scores the most goals.
Yeah, good, good,
Uh,
good, good.
but generally speaking, I don't know. I think generally speaking, I try to just like build my team off of just grassroots stuff. But I notice when I play against players who have a few particular players, you know, like
Yeah.
if you know, I guess Czech is one, Patrick Vieira is another one,
Mm.
and I can't remember the rest of them that people use.
Yeah,
But
but I
though,
understand what you're saying. I mean, there's meta in the game apparently,
yeah,
which goes for games that I'm playing as well in the FPS world. Not so much Counter Strike; it's very like equal. You have the same possibilities to earn money and money management, and then buy the same guns. So it's very fair in that sense.
yeah,
And as you said, it's up to you when it comes to your skill. So it's really depending on how you play,
it
and
is.
not much. Nothing else, I would say. But even so, where was I going with that? Darn it! I think I lost my thread. Talking about the meta in the game.
Practice.
Yeah, but also no, but also as you said, it's a combination of this PvP PvE element as
Hmm.
well,
Yeah.
and that brings a certain style and a certain like rhythm in the game as well. Even though, because you have to, yeah, that's why I also guess you have to have at some extent strong players around here and there. Because even if you switch from player to player, once in a while the AI has to step in to a certain extent when you're playing.
Yes.
So, but my question to you, like okay, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna talk a bit about gaming as well. But I just want to ask you though, with this, is there like a time plan here, or is it? I mean,
Like
you're gonna
practice, like when they practice.
yeah, and you said you can't you talk with your Trini friends, or when it comes to an esport
Oh,
thing, maybe it's like a
I,
1st
I
of February, or what's going
so
on?
I spoke to him about it. I think he told me the dates, but I forgot. That he told me about two they have this year. He said one is in Brazil and one
Mm.
is in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah,
right?
okay. Oh
So
my.
I was
Yeah.
like, interesting. I'd love to visit those places.
Yeah, exactly.
I like travel.
Yeah, there you go.
um, there are two esports tournaments happening in those locations, international ones where I would be able to represent Trinidad and Tobago. And competitively, I would love to just beat some people and take the reigning spot. Be the top dog. Um, I will say, time wise, I'm giving I would like to be at my best in like in February, like end of
Mm.
February. Um, and I've been practicing every night. So every night before bed, I hop on for a couple matches, and I practice. Last night was one night I stayed a bit longer because, as I said, I didn't get a message from you, so I was like, oh, let me practice a bit more. And it was actually a good night because I was actually winning a lot, so I was like, so
Yeah, good.
and I actually made a friend on the game last night. I met
Oh,
this
that's
bloke
fun. Yeah.
from he was Scottish.
Oh,
I
okay.
think he was Scottish, and
Mm.
he added me on the game, and he was new to the game, so I was sort of helping him out. I was like teaching him some stuff. I did beat him in the game though. Like,
Good, good. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
had to go a bit easy on him in the second time we picked. Because I always think to myself, like, if you go really, really, really hard on someone, when they just get into a game, it's gonna deter them from wanting to continue playing. So like when I played him
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we actually like played outside of like actually competing,
Mm.
I picked a weaker team and I just played a bit more. Like there were times when I was like telling him like, "Hey, pass to that guy over there," like. But it wasn't like we were competing at that time. It was more like I was trying to help him get more accustomed to the game.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, that's nice.
so yeah,
A
because
bit of
I like for
coaching.
me, I like if I help someone to get better, then it means that that's someone else I can train against. When they're like competent. So I told him I'd help him with his team, help him make his team better, and then kick
It's
his butt
good.
once he has
That's
a better team.
nice.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this sounds good. Well, good luck with that and everything. We need to move on. Time flies,
let's
but
go.
I'm happy to hear this. This sounds fun. Yeah, it does. And talking about team play,
Yeah.
I have been going back playing a team-based game, competitive, definitely. That is still quite new, and that is the Finals. This game that was released some time ago now from the Embark Studios
Hmm.
from Sweden. Free to play online shooter with a twist. You have these three classes. I mentioned it before: light, medium, heavy,
Hmm.
and it's a kind of a havoc experience since there's an environmental destruction and the buildings are falling down. And I streamed it yesterday. This is not a game. There's so few games I play on a regular basis nowadays. So I'm
Hmm.
happy to hear that you're into a game playing and grinding a bit because I haven't really been doing that for some time now. Last time I did that was with PlanetSide 2, I believe.
Hmm.
I still play that once in a while, but for me now it's so much getting into a game, play it, make content, and then move on into
Yeah.
something else. So I don't know, but even so, the finals they made a big update very recently. I'm covering it on my channel if you're interested. If you want to know more, give my opinions, things that I was hoping that they will also bring into this update already now, but they didn't. But overall, well, this game is not that great when solo queuing, and I've said it before. It's so you're so much better off if you play with a friend or two. Actually, two is great because then you have full team. Because this is not the normal 5v5 or 6v6. It's three versus teams of three or four.
Hmm.
So it's a bit different there. But anywho, we had a good time. I was playing with a Swedish guy actually that showed up some time ago in my streams.
Hmm.
And it turned out, first off, he's a bit older, like me, uh, probably a bit younger than me, but still older, if you know what I mean. But even so, very nice guy, very nice guy. It was a lot of fun to play with him, and he was also a good player. I
Hmm.
mean, that's not necessary, but he was eventually good. And then I asked him about his gaming and then I understood he had played also a lot of Counter-Strike, so it made sense. Uh, so that was fun. That was a new experience for me. That was actually the first time I actually played with someone like that, and not only solo queuing to make another video or just playing for 15 minutes because then I need to go on and do something else. You know how
Hmm.
it can be. But what I wanted to get to, I'm not sure if Nalo is still here, but even so, a few days ago, my moderator in the Discord, Rate, he posted World,
Hmm.
and he just said, "Do you know about this game?" And I said, "I've heard about it, yes." And then Vuklund, that I played together with yesterday, said, "Well, I'm actually playing it right now, and it's really fun. I played it quite some, and blah 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 blah." And it is available on Xbox Game Pass. I don't have that at the moment. It's been very strict economic wise here, so I haven't really had any additional
Hmm.
yeah,
Any additional
things go
purchases?
no the expenses or something. But even so, I'm thinking about actually hopping onto Xbox Game Pass this upcoming month and play it and
Yeah.
try it and maybe play with him and maybe someone else, whatever.
I'll join you.
But yeah,
It,
you can do that if you want to, for sure, for sure.
I'll
Uh,
definitely join you. It's
yeah.
just to give you an idea, or to give the listeners and viewers an idea. Power Wheel is 22.49 at the moment.
Yes.
On
There
Steam.
is a thing. Yeah, exactly. There is a thing. It's good you mentioned the price and also available, as said, on Xbox Game Pass. There's been a problem when it comes to what kind of, how did Vuklon say this? It wasn't like equal when it comes to the possibilities to play the different matchmaking options, which
Hmm.
didn't make sense for me. I hope they fix that. And I'm
Yeah.
referring to the Steam version contra if you're playing it on like a service such as Xbox Game Pass.
Hmm.
I don't know why, but hope they do something about that. But as
Hmm.
said, I mean, this game has had initially great numbers
Yeah.
and success. Which, on the other hand, I mean, and that's always good. It's always good. Don't get me wrong. That was the case also, not really comparable, but still good numbers for the finals that I was mentioning.
Hmm.
Even though, as I said in the video, the numbers has gone down. If you look at the peak player numbers, it's like 35% down,
Yeah.
which is very normal because
Hmm.
usually, especially if a game also gets a hype, more people tend to go and check it out. But then after maybe weeks or let's say 3-4 months, you have people that left that might become like the core community around the game. So you get more correct numbers, if that makes sense, when it comes to player count. But yeah, Palworld, sure. The finals just gonna finish off saying that I will play it again, especially if Vuklund comes around or maybe someone else, because it's the more the merrier, and that's one of those games. And you because the random matchmaking, I mean, it is hard if you're three players, and this is something I hope they would have implemented. You can just leave the game in casual and nothing happens to you, meaning there's no timeout, there's no like punishment for leaving matches, ongoing matches. And I think they need to do that to protect solo players, because you get so you get so vulnerable if you're only like 2 players left playing against teams of 3. Yeah, it's hard.
Hmm.
And maybe the other guy is going like 1-7, it's yeah, I don't want to stay either. So, I mean, as we were speaking yesterday, I am most likely not going, especially since you were talking about eFootball and playing a bit more competitive, or at least trying to. I don't think I will do that with this game, though. There is a ranked scene when it comes to the finals due to its competitive nature,
Hmm.
but they are also having problems initially. The rank gameplay when it comes to matchmaking isn't really working that great. It kind of all of a sudden puts you, even though you're silver, with diamond players for some reason. Shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
And also, I think how you rank up in the game is not really equivalent to like your skill and things like that. I think it's quite much based on how much play time you have, and it's they need to look into that. That's
Hmm.
something maybe the new patch will bring. I don't know, but that's the gaming. So that's just what I wanted to add when it comes to Pal World. We'll see if we give that a
If we
try.
get into it, I just
Yeah,
wanted to point out, I was just looking into this while we were talking about it. It does have crossplay because I believe it's available for Xbox, Windows via the Microsoft Store, and Steam. The Steam version is not crossplay between the Xbox and the Microsoft Store version, but the Xbox and Microsoft version is crossplay, which I don't even consider that crossplay. It's the same platform essentially.
yeah,
So if you get it, and you want to play with friends on Steam, it doesn't allow for that.
right.
And the same goes for your cross save. It
Mm.
does cross save between the Xbox and Windows, through the Microsoft Store, but not through Steam. Which I kind
Ah,
of expected that one, but I didn't
yeah,
expect that it wouldn't have crossplay between Steam. Like, I thought that just made sense just to have that.
yeah,
Um, but maybe they'll add that functionality later down the line. Who knows?
yeah. Who
Um,
knows?
because the people I know who are playing it right now, they're playing through Steam.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's the best option, to be honest. As I described also with this thingy with the matchmaking and whatever.
mhm.
I really didn't understand 100% what my teammate yesterday meant when it comes to that. But on the other hand, as we said before, it's so much value, player value, when you're using Xbox Game Pass
I
or similar
know.
service, for example, because you can try out the games, you can play them, and maybe, just maybe, 1 or 2 games will get into your Steam library later on, for example.
Yes,
So
yes.
so it's a good a bang for the bucks, so to say.
I think it's also good when if you're sharing Game Pass with other people. Like if you have other
Yeah, yeah.
people in your household who game, and they they then use the Xbox to play some of the games that they want to play. I think it works out for you in that sense, like having kids and all that kind of stuff. The kids will
Yes.
have stuff they like, and if you have Game Pass, it pays for itself in that sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, or if you play a lot of games during the course of a year. So
Mm. I agree. I agree.
yeah, definitely good value when it comes to stuff
Yes.
like that. If you're not that kind of person and you play one game forever, like, you don't bother to get game.
Yeah, don't exactly.
Just
Don't
buy the
why getting
game.
Xbox Game Pass? Yeah, yeah. Waste of money.
Waste of money.
For sure. But okay, with that said,
Let's talk about some
gaming
telly, bro.
out
What have
of
you
the
been
way.
watching? You've been watching something from an
Yes.
actor that I am a big fan of.
Same. And
So,
that's the only reason I watched it. It's a reason behind the reason as well. This is getting weird.
mm,
I have been watching a movie called Cosmic Sin.
yes.
I watched it on Amazon Prime, and in a way, I regret that I watched it.
Oh wow, it's that
Yes,
bad.
yes. But at the same time, I'm glad I watched it, because I do believe that this is Bruce Willis' last movie. This was made in
Is
2021
it?
or released in 2021. Yes, and that's the reason why I wanted to watch it. But it broke my heart, to be honest. It was this time when how do you say it, the yeah, the co-workers around him and everything started to realize that something wasn't really right. And you can now, when you know afterwards that Bruce Willis got sick and he was diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia,
Mm-hmm.
which includes a variety of these like neurodegenerative conditions, meaning
Mm-hmm.
that you break down, you start to lose the ability to speak. And I think he's there now,
Right.
present day. He can't really verbally, he can't speak. The family announced this in February, like this
February
year. That
last year.
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
No, it is last year, February last year.
It can't be February this year. February hasn't come yet.
Yeah, exactly. So hello, time, dates. Yeah, time travel. Um, it's a terrible disease in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing is, though, if we stick with that for a second, that I've kind of realized that he most likely have a really wonderful family and people around him
Mm-hmm.
that are supporting him 100% from what I can see, without knowing much more than that. But
Yeah.
even so, in this movie, I just get that feeling knowing this in the back of my head, watching that he acts a bit different than he usually does. He
Mm-hmm.
does not have many lines
Really?
in the movie. Yeah, and it's just very off, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's still Bruce Willis. He has charisma,
Mm-hmm.
and it's there
Mm-hmm.
to a certain extent. But I felt at least something was off. Of course, it's easy to say that when you know what was going to, or was maybe had started to happen already here.
Mm-hmm.
The movie, it feels like a movie that, we're going to bring in Bruce Willis because then the movie will be much better. Something like that. It's about some rogue soldiers that are launching a preemptive strike against a newly discovered alien civilization in the hopes of ending an interstellar war before it starts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically the plot, and it's really a shitty movie. I don't recommend this to anyone if you aren't a Bruce Willis fan and you want to see what I was talking about, I guess, because the movie in itself isn't good. It's one thing is good, it's short. It's 1 hour 28 minutes. I mean, I am very picky. It's usually the things I watch when it comes to series, TV series, excuse me, movies.
Mm-hmm.
They are usually good, and I can recommend them. And I do some research because I want to watch good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not one of those. It has a 2.5 on
Oof.
IMDb.
I saw that
And
rating, I was like, it's a mistake.
it's not a mistake.
Oh my god.
It is so bad. Oh dear, Bruce
Oh,
Willis. Oh my God. Yeah.
don't let him go.
Oh.
You know what's the thing though? Literally, that's not his last listed movie. His last
It,
listed
it's
movie is something called Assassin in 2023, and it has a 3.2. Every single movie that he's been listed for the past for the past 3 years, 2021 coming up, they're all in the highest rating that they've gotten. One of them has gotten is a 4.0. So
oh
there's more.
yeah.
It's not just that. So I'm
Okay.
curious if it
Okay.
is that if what you're saying from 2021 is you could start seeing like a change in him.
Yeah.
I wonder if the other films are similar in that
Yeah.
regard.
That I'm wondering too. Most likely,
Hmm.
maybe even worse,
Maybe. I mean,
in
I
comparison.
mean, who knows? Who knows? Yeah,
Who
because
knows?
he has
Yeah.
been an A-list actor. In the past. I mean, one of my favorite movies, Armageddon, is by him, and then there's The
Yeah.
Fifth Element as well. A highly recommended film, like
Yeah. Great stuff.
absolutely
Great.
amazing.
And of course, if you haven't, for some reason, if you lived under a rock,
You're gonna
haven't
say
seen
Die
like
Hard.
Die Hard, then I feel sorry for you.
You know what? I didn't say Die Hard because that's the easy one. That's the one
Yeah,
that
it
like
is.
that's the easy one.
It
I
is.
feel like some people may not have seen Fifth Element or
True.
Armageddon. I feel like those two are kind of like they're not like out there, but I feel like everyone knows Die Hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I like those movies as well, both Armageddon and especially The Fifth Element.
Yes.
I've seen it 3 times, I think.
I've seen it
It's
more.
Luc Besson behind that movie. So
I've seen
it's
both a couple of times.
yeah, the good stuff.
Yeah, it is good stuff indeed.
Yeah,
Um,
but that's that. That's that's the film. And it's like, oh, okay, bad movie.
I
Sorry.
feel like looking at his bad movies though.
Yeah, I mean, as said, I just explained why I wanted to watch it. There was like two reasons. I mean, he was in it, one, and of course, I knew that this is. I guess this is around where it started. What people in the business has described that they
Mhm.
started to see.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, that's that.
Then again, you can't always go by IMDb ratings. Some of these films are actually pretty decent, and people just rated it poorly because they don't know.
That can be the case, but in this this case, I actually stand behind the ratings. This was not good. This was not good. I've seen other other sci-fi movies in the genre, you might say, or style of movies that is much better. So
Hmm,
this wasn't good.
wasn't good.
It was simply not good.
That in mind.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
I'm
we
just looking at his filmography for the past 3 years from Cosmic Sin, and
yeah.
he's got quite a few movies, more than 10 films,
Mm.
so it's a lot. Maybe I do a Bruce Willis marathon. Maybe I do.
Yeah.
Maybe I do.
Maybe. Maybe.
Bruce Willis's last 10 films. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we rate them scale of ones to Bruce Willis. How Bruce Willis are the films. I think I
Exactly.
am I am actually keen to do something like this. I am keen to um I guess celebrate this guy. He's got good
Yeah.
films. I've enjoyed
Mm.
him in on the screen, and I think I can do that. I think I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
I'll talk to the family, see who wants to sit and watch some potentially terrible movies with me.
Yeah. No, I think you should watch them by yourself, and then show the family and the guys definitely the good stuff.
Think so?
Yeah, I think so.
You
I
don't want them
mean,
to hate Bruce Willis, is it?
nah, let people remember him with all respect, with from his glory days and the movies that were really good that he
What
was
about
in.
Alex though?
So
I could watch with her. She's definitely seen some of these older ones. Uh,
yeah.
I mean, with the boys, it's probably like they've probably never seen any of the. I've never watched any Bruce Willis films with them, so they've
Mm.
unless I've forgotten him in something, but with Zavi or something like that. But
Mm.
definitely, I don't think I've ever watched anything like that with Ty because it's most of his films are not rated for Ty. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's a bit young. That is true.
yeah, that's the
But
thing.
even so.
What At
But
what age did you get the boys into watching action movies?
what did you say?
At what age did you get your boys into watching action movies?
Well, I don't know. For me, I've
Was
done it all when it comes to
was it from birth?
showing movies in so many genres. When it comes to my sons, and I
Yeah.
think you know that it's everything from the to go to sci-fi, to go to action movies, the horror movies, especially with Isaac. Um,
When did you
I don't know
start?
exactly when, if we're talking age, when I started to, I was really early on, especially with, of course, the Star Wars
Mhm.
universe and everything.
Was
They've
it just like
seen it.
was it just like Bone and you just like got them and they're like, watch good films, son. Sit with me. And they're like, oh, away, I want milk away. And you're like, shh, this is the good path.
Yeah, something like that, actually. You'll have your milk later.
You'll have your real men only cry for their milk after the good part,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Something like it. But yeah,
Oh my god. You know what?
it's education.
As
Yeah.
I'm saying that, I'm picturing that scene from Star Wars where Anakin's like Anakin and Obi-Wan are like, he's like, you were supposed to save the Force, Anakin.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one of those moments. There are a few in those um, movies.
Die
That's
Hard one
definitely
and
one of
two.
those.
Great. I think
Yeah.
I can do a Die Hard marathon.
Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do some diad. Okay, with that,
Mm.
I think we've got a show, haven't we?
Yeah, we have a show for sure. It's been nice as always. Thank you to each and every one of you that have been listening, as always, both live right now, but
Mm-hmm.
also, of course, afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you got some good tips. Well, you got at least a tip, maybe what you should avoid when it comes to a movie. If you aren't really keen, as I said, when it comes to Bruce Willis, I still like the guy a lot. And with that said, take care, have a great week, stay healthy, and we'll hopefully talk in a week from now. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, muffins and out.
Beautiful as always. And that is correct, Nalu. Revenge of the Sith is actually a pretty good prequel.
Mm.
And it's actually my first Star Wars film. The first Star Wars, I did not see them in the right order. I went to the movie theater. There's a story about it. I won't go into it now. But
Blasphemy.
it's
No, go on.
you know what? If I would say the same thing
Just
now as
kidding.
a proper fan that I've gone back and retroactively seen the so essentially my order of seeing the Star Wars films was Revenge of the Sith, and then I went back to episode 4, 5, and 6. And then
Yeah.
I after I saw 4, 5, and 6, then I went back and uh watched the 1 and 2. Yeah, episode 1 and 2.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
Mm.
My first was A New Hope. Ooh la la. Classic.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that is my Star Wars experience. Still a
Same.
fan. But anywho, let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
So with that, just pretend 7 and 9, 7 to 9. Hey, I've watched 7 and 9. They're not perfect, but hey, they're still alright. They're not the worst thing ever. They're not the
No.
best thing ever. They're alright. But that being said, let's look to get out of here. I am I'm sure you guys have seen me yawn a few times. I did stay up practicing. So with that, thank you very much for those of you who've listened, who've been around. Like Rod said before, you guys are wonderful people, sticking by with us, watching live and watching in post. If you're watching in post, please, those of you watching in post, please leave a comment. You guys, you people who watch in the future, I see the numbers, but I don't see the comments. So please drop a comment if you're still here at this point in time. Let me know how you guys are doing and all that kind of good stuff. Tell us about some films you want us to watch or some games you want us to play, and maybe we will check them out and talk about them on the show. With that, thank you very much for those of you who listen to this podcast. As always, you can find Roger at 40 Split Trash. That's number 40 to SPLASH. He streams on a Tuesday and a Sunday. Is that correct, Rog?
Correct.
Ooh, I'm so good at this.
You are.
I would say you can find me at LP Garden, that's garden.eu, or you can find us at Simply Binge or at Simply Binge UK. But that is also true, but I am not streaming anytime at the moment. I'm not on a stream schedule, but I should get onto a stream schedule. So I will try to see if I can work something out. If I do get back to streaming, it's going to be once a week. I don't think I have it in me to do twice a week, honestly speaking. So I think I can start with once a week and we will see how it goes. I have to pick a day though. I haven't decided yet. I have to be a day that I am sure I will not be interrupted, because that's the reason I stopped last time. It was just constant interruptions when I was trying to like stream, and I just couldn't keep it up. Anyway, Disney made Star Wars garbage. We'll talk about it on another podcast. So with that, as always, we wouldn't like guys miss any episodes of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many beautiful people like subscribe to this podcast and podcast. Oh, I messed it up. No. Many beautiful people like subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Spotify, iTunes, SimplyBinge.com, YouTube, and elsewhere. And with something I like it that we're giving for free. So, as always, guys, this has been queued. Your pleasure. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
I messed it up, Rog. I messed it up. I was so close.
It was very close.
You know, I always feel really good whenever I do the outro and I get through that whole part in full speed without messing it up. Yes. Whenever I mess it up, I'm like, oh, I can't believe it. In the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, code of a match. So
Things happens.
Let's get out of here. Let's go do things like eat.
Yeah, yeah. I gonna make. Well, I'm gonna make my coffee.
Makes you think I know. I don't know what you're gonna make. What if you make juice this time? You could change your mind.
No.